Okay, so good evening. Thank you everyone for being here for our RAB meeting tonight. I am going to call the meeting to order, and I am going to open the meeting up to public comment. The board welcomes comments, but is not able to take any action on them other than to direct the public to the appropriate staff member or complaint procedure. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and comments are to be addressed to me, the board chair, or to the board as a whole, not to any individual member of the board, the staff, or the public. Please raise your hand and wait to speak until you have been asked by me, the chair. And please identify yourself with your first and last name and your town of residence. Please refrain from restating comments that have already been shared. You can express agreement of those comments. Order and decorum shall be observed by everyone, and shouting and profanity are prohibited. As the board chair, I will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. I now open it up to public comment. Yes.
Okay, Nathan Wright, a member of the board, live here in Randolph, Vermont. In front of you is a packet that I put together based on the last school board meeting that we had for RTCC. We had discussed previous enrollment numbers, and some numbers were mentioned in the meeting. And it didn't seem accurate that we used to have 160 plus kids at RTCC. So what I did was I went through the old school board notes, and I just wanted to clarify the numbers. I've also had a meeting with Michael in private about this. We indeed did have, according to the notes that you can see on the back part of the packet for different years, we did start previous years in the 160s for enrollment, starting back in 2022. Michael had also mentioned in that meeting that maybe it was due to population of surrounding town why numbers are declining. So I went on the website for the Vermont state website and got school numbers of enrollment per Randolph, Union High School, Northfield, Williamstown, and White River Valley, showing that they did have a negative 8% in overall student population, but nowhere near the number I thought it would be, equivalent to the 18% decline that we saw last year. So I just wanted to make that very public right here in this meeting since it was brought up last meeting. If you have any questions, again, you can go right onto the website or see the old school board minutes that we have stapled to the back. I just included the minutes that mention the actual population.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, first off, I want to welcome Dessa Rogers from the Gifford Medical Center. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Sure thing.
Thank you. And
Would it be helpful if Dessa got an introduction to everybody?
Oh.
Want to say hi? Hi, Dessa. I'm Mike Clark, superintendent.
Oh, go around. Nika Oaks, director of RTCC.
Clayton Squires, assistant director of RTCC. Nice to meet you.
Lauren Blanchard-Gino. I am the registrar and Nika's admin assistant.
Okay.
Ann Kaplan, I'm the Orange Southwest School District Rep.
Nathan Wright, I am the business owner of Digital Done Right and also a real estate agent for Century 21.
Sam Hooper, also OSSD board rep.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Dessa Rogers. I'm actually the Director of Acute Care Services at Gifford Medical Center.
Thank you so much for being here today. Do we have anyone online? I know that there were 2 other folks that were planning on being here potentially online.
We do not.
Okay. All right. Well, if they end up coming online, then we will introduce them. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight. Tonight, the plan is to reopen the conversation that we had started, I think, back in May, and then we've brought up at a couple of different meetings about completing our RAB board. We are a small group now, and we're growing. Des is here, and we have 2 other people that we are expecting. Renee Badeau, if I'm pronouncing her last name right, she's the designee of Central Vermont Supervisory Union, and Michaela Martin, the designee of White River Supervisory Union. And so they have planned on joining us tonight. And so what we want to do is begin to really fill out all of the pieces of our RAB board, and we want to go through the statute and make sure that we have everything. Yeah, Lauren.
Hi, Renee just sent me an email
Oh.
and said that she's on but needs to be let into the meeting.
Great, thank you.
So I am in on this link.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in on the,
Are they on the Zoom one?
on the board link, on the 6 o'clock link.
Lauren, could you send her this link?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Well, great. Okay, so Renee will be joining us momentarily. And so we have the statute written out at the beginning of the agenda, but then we broke it down and included the folks that we believe fill those positions. And what we want to do is go through it and make sure that the information that we have is accurate, and then set a plan for going forward. After we do that, we are going to vote hopefully a new member onto the RAB. I'll go through a program update for the next school year for 25-26, and then our plan to increase enrollment. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the statute, and then I'm going to go through each piece so that it's broken down really clearly. And if you believe, like Ann just pointed out, we had something mixed up in there. So if you believe that you should be somewhere else, please let me know, because this is a working document that we're trying to address right now. Okay, so per Title 16, each regional advisory board shall consist of one member from each public high school in the center service region elected by and from among the members of that high school board for a term determined by that high school board. The superintendent or his or her designee of each supervisory union within the center service region. One member elected for a term of 3 years by and from among the school board of each sending district in the center service region that does not have a public high school represented on the advisory board under subdivision 1 of this section, except that if there are more than 3 such districts in the center service area, the advisory board shall select 3 school boards to represent the interests of all such districts, shall rotate its selections among the districts, and shall stagger the expiration of initial terms. And 4, one member of the board of each independent comprehensive high school within a service region, elected by the members of that board for a term determined by that board. And then number 5, once constituted, the regional advisory board shall elect 3 additional members for terms of 3 years to represent the interests of employers or employees, provided that no 2 terms shall expire in any year. And so that is a mouthful. So now we're gonna break it down and make sure that we have everything right. Okay, so number 1, one member from each public high school in the center service region, elected by and from among the members of that high school board for a term determined by that high school board. And so for Randolph High School, Randolph Union, we have Ann Kaplan. Northfield High School is to be determined, because we do not have a rep. Williamstown High School does not have a rep. And White River Valley has Rodney Rainville, who is usually here, but I have not heard from him, so maybe he's just running late, I'm not sure. But so Northfield and Williamstown, we are working, looking to work with them to fill those 2 positions. Number 2, the superintendent or his or her designee of each supervisory union within the center's service region. Okay, so Central Vermont Supervisory Union, so the superintendent is Matthew Fetters, but he is designated Renee Bedeau, if I'm saying her last name right, I really hope I am. Is Renee here yet in the meeting? Not yet, okay. Well, hopefully soon. So Renee will be Matthew's designee. Orange Southwest Supervisory Union, of course, Michael Clark. and White River Valley Supervisory Union, so Jamie Canarney, and Michaela Martin is his designee. And again, I believe she was planning on being here online, so I don't know if maybe she's having similar problems getting on. But that's good, because now we have, or we will have we'll have number 2 filled. On number 3, 1 member elected for a term of 3 years by and from among the school board of each sending district in the center service region that does not have a public high school represented on the advisory board under number 1 above, except if there's more than 3 such districts in the center service area. The advisory board shall select 3 school boards to represent the interest of all such districts, shall rotate its selections among the districts, and shall stagger the expiration of initial terms. So we have Stratford, Sharon, Rochester, Stockbridge, Granville, and Hancock, and I believe that covers all of the towns. If anybody has any other information on that, I'd be grateful.
And Superintendent Canarney is gonna work with his boards to try to find the reps for that.
Perfect, so there would be 3 reps out of those towns.
Where does Chelsea and Tunbridge fall in this? Are they part of the White River Valley? Are they their own district,
I
right?
think they're school choice completely, because they don't
Right,
have to go to White River.
Because they don't have to go to White River Valley, they don't,
Some go to Montpelier, some go to U32, some.
They would fall into that list potentially, so we're possibly missing some. We've got
right,
to
Chelsea.
Chelsea and Tunbridge
Thank you.
would be in there as well. Because I know definitely some Chelsea kids anyway used to come to the tech center quite frequently, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I would
We have at this
imagine
point
there
now.
would be some Tunbridge kids
Mm-hmm.
that would want access.
So does Roxbury fall under that?
Oh,
Uh,
Roxbury.
No, Roxbury
No.
falls in
Roxbury would
Montpelier.
go the other way.
That's right, we had that
so
conversation.
Montpelier-
Part of the Central Vermont group.
Thank you.
Hancock, Granville, all them are up there too.
Or Rochester. No, they
No,
go
they're
into,
with
they used
us.
to go into Rochester, and then Rochester is,
We're getting the
Wow.
White River Valley
yeah.
choice towns. Those are the
Okay.
ones that are in our sending unit.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Yeah, good question, thank you so much. Okay, so then number 4 says 1 member of the board of each independent comprehensive high school within a service region elected by the members of that board for a term determined by that board. And so we have Sharon Academy. I think that's the only school.
Yeah,
Missing
I don't
anything there?
know, would they even, I doubt they would wanna give up any kids because they need those kids for their tuition.
It's a statute.
Alright.
Yeah.
We can ask.
Yep, absolutely. All right, number 5, then once constituted, the Regional Advisory Board shall elect 3 additional members for terms of 3 years to represent the interests of employers or employees, provided that no 2 terms shall expire in 1 year. And so as of right now, we have,
Dessa here.
yes, we do have DESA, but we
You're gonna have to choose to vote Dessa in.
right.
We're hoping you'll do that
Okay.
tonight.
Right, so currently we have Sam Hooper from Vermont Glove and Nathan Wright. Nathan, can you tell me the name of your business again? I wanna make sure I get that right.
Digital done right, as in my last name.
Thank you.
Yep.
Excellent, okay, very good. And then our third position at number 5 is to be determined. Okay, so now, this is an explanation, just broken down, about the purpose of the RAB. So the overall role of the RAB is to advise and support the RTCC director on issues that are brought forth to the RAB, and to positively promote RTCC and its programs at all times so as to encourage its growth and its impact in the communities that it serves. The member role is to build positive community connections in the interest of growth, student experience, and community needs while providing support to RTCC leadership in the process. To become part of the RAB, members must be elected by the RAB in a formal process for no longer than a 3-year term. Each RAB member's affiliation should represent a substantial company or industry with the potential to employ or serve RTCC's student body. And our plan to grow our RAB is that RTCC leadership and RAB members will seek out potential members who represent companies who employ a large population that can serve as both RAB members and potential work-based learning and career placement for RTCC students. Okay, so if you add up all the potential RAB members, our RAB requires that we have 14 members. And so our board representatives, and my list here is incorrect, and thank you for correcting this. So what I'm gonna do is go through and make sure that I have everything right. Excuse me. So for board representatives, Orange Southwest School District, and Kaplan.
And it actually should be, if it's gonna line up with the high school, it should be the Randolph High School.
Well, we don't have a Randolph High School board, where the school district board represents the high school
I suppose that's true.
as a board, so, because I'm sure these were written back when we had all those
That's true.
individual boards for
Yep.
districts, and a bunch of these districts have consolidated, so now you don't necessarily have a high school board anymore.
Yep.
So
Okay.
that's why it's
She
changed.
said that she's using the link that I just sent, and she said that she's waiting to be let in.
Can she
so-
call in?
So then,
Can we do the
do
phone?
I have the wrong link? Because I'm taking it right off the website.
That's what I took it off of too.
Okay, let's make sure that, so I'm
Can
right
we give her
here.
that
Yep,
phone
that's
number?
the link I clicked on. Yeah, I can give her the phone number.
Do you have two running now?
I don't, it closed the other one and it opened this one.
What's the number one down there on the personnel?
That's just me.
What if we put in her email on the search people? Would that do anything?
Yeah, you can add her from the. You see where you say add people? You can add her and invite her.
What's her email?
Lauren, do you have the email?
Renee?
Yeah, it's RBADEAU
ADEAU
at CVSU.org.
at CVSU.
Thank you. Well, that should do it. Great.
That might work.
Okay, we're good. Thank you. Okay, so then the correct wording, and then, right, is Orange Southwest School District
Board rep.
Board Rep. Thank you. Okay. So the Northfield High School Board Rep is currently open. Williamstown High School Board Rep is currently open, and the White River Valley High School Board Rep is Rodney Rainville.
Alright, so we're, for formality's sakes, we're changing Sam to Ann. Right?
Yes. And then I switched, you're down at large. I crossed out Ann and put Sam there. Okay, so superintendents, we've got Michael Clark for OSSD. Central Vermont Supervisory Union is Matt Fetters, but Renee Bedeau is the designee. White River Valley Supervisory Union, Michaela Martin is the designee. Okay. Then we have the non-operating town positions, so the list that we just went through. So we would have one position to be determined that ends in 2025, 2026, and one in 2027 because it's a 3-year rotation. Our comprehensive independent high school, we currently don't have anybody for that position, so to be determined, but that's something that we're going to work on. Our at-large positions, so we have 3 at-large members at a 3-year term, and none can expire at the same time. So the at-large that ends in May 2025, that's Nathan Wright, because I know you said last time you've been on the board the longest. At-large ends in May 2026, that's Sam Hooper, because Sam, you were here with us last year at least, if that's correct. And then at-large ends in May 2027. That would be what we vote on today regarding Gifford Medical Center and Dessa Rogers. So no two terms can expire at the same time. RAB at-large members will be nominated annually at the spring meeting, so that would be our May meeting. The superintendent representatives will be welcomed at the September meeting at the beginning of the year. If a superintendent plans to delegate their seat, they must inform the RAB chair, that would be me, prior to the first meeting of the school year. And then if someone is wishing to run for at-large RAB board membership, they send a letter expressing interest in membership to the RAB chair, to me, no later than March 15th, 2025, and then letters will be included in the upcoming RAB packet for the May meeting. And the upcoming open seat will be the membership expiring in 2025. And so, given that, I move to appoint Dessa Rogers to the RAB. All in favor, say aye.
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 Wonderful, welcome.
Opposed?
Oh, sorry.
Abstentions?
Thank you.
Unanimous.
There we go, thank you. Perfect, thank you. Okay.
Welcome, Dessa.
Thank you.
Can you tell me again your acute care manager?
The director of acute care services.
Director of acute care services, sorry. I need to put it-
We're so glad to have you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, all right, so what I'm gonna do now is move on to our next agenda item, which is a program update for the 2025-2026 school year. So, given that it is not quite mid-February yet, it is still early to know how many students we have because we haven't hit our first formal deadline for students to be have their applications completed. So as of right now, what I did was I created a list of our programs and you'll see a number, a slash, and another number. So the first number is how many students we currently have in that program. And the second number is how many students have started or completed an application for the program as of yesterday. So automotive technology currently has 7, so far 5 students. Construction trades currently has 4, so far 6 for next year. Diesel technology has 12 right now, so far 10 for next year. Electrical technology, 8 and 8. Diversified ag, 13 this year, 6 for next year. Digital media, 11 for this year, 3 for next year. Criminal justice, 6 for this year, 5 for next year. Culinary arts, 5 this year, 6 for next year. And pre-tech, 14 for this year and 7 for next year. And design, engineering, and fabrication, currently 4, next year 5. And LNA, which we're hoping is going to look different than it did this year, or health careers as you would know it. We are hoping to collaborate with Gifford, and that's a discussion that we'll have at another time. But for next year, right now we have 4 students and we have 4 in the program now. So, yes.
How many students can each class hold?
We
Max
can,
capacity?
yes, we can do, I believe the number is 21. We would need a para in the room. But we
Without
could,
a pair, is it?
yeesh, I gotta look it up, but something around 18.
Okay.
About 18. Let's see, so RTCC enrollment as of yesterday was 88 students. And next year's total applications as of yesterday was 65 students. So, it's actually really not that bad at all. And so we're just gonna keep forging ahead. We're gonna keep having more students come and visit and encourage students to make sure they get in all their application materials.
What's-
And, yes, go
What's
ahead,
the
Jen.
first application deadline?
Well, so, we have rolling admissions, so we would accept students all, through forever. However, I really had wanted to see applications that are completed by this past Wednesday. But all of the sending schools, I think we're struggling with that deadline. We have one person that said that they couldn't get them in until they come back from vacation, and their vacation is next week, so it's not gonna be until the following week when we're on break. Somebody else was struggling to get materials from other places to upload into EnrollTrack, and someone is struggling to even get into EnrollTrack. So we're working on it, but some of the people, 50% of the people that are putting information into RollTrack are new to EnrollTrack and they've never done it. So when they went to go do it, they didn't realize that they didn't even, they needed a password, or they didn't have the information they needed to do it, so.
So what's your next goal, end of March, to have clearer numbers?
End of March? No, I would say beginning of March would be better.
Okay.
And then we'd have a second deadline, and then it would just roll from there, so.
I think, Sam, your question's a good question, and Nika's got all kinds of stuff kind of moving on
Yeah,
to sort of encourage some more enrollment here.
Yeah.
Make us very visible in those schools.
yes. And we want to be very, very fluid and flexible so that it's not like we're saying, oh, I'm sorry, you've missed the deadline, you can't apply.
Yeah.
We're never going to do that. Unless our programs are completely filled, then of course, in that case, they're filled. But we're always going to be very flexible and fluid with that.
I see that the childcare services is now off. Did you decide to cancel it or suspend it?
Suspend.
Remember we decided, weren't you?
Yes.
I think so. I just wanted to
Yeah.
remember what we.
Someone's joined.
Oh, perfect. Renee, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry you had trouble getting into the meeting.
That's all right. It'll happen sometime.
Well, I appreciate you being here so much. Could you just introduce yourself to the group and let them know what district you represent?
Sure. So I am Renee Bedell. I'm the Director of Curriculum at Central Vermont Supervisory Union. So our schools are Orange, Washington, Northfield, and Williamstown.
Thank you so much. Very, very nice to have you. Thank you very much. We were just talking about our program numbers so far for next year, but it's very early in the application season. But we were just going through those, and I was just starting my plan to increase enrollment. And then after I go through the plan to increase enrollment, I'm going to be looking for suggestions that didn't make the list that I have here that anyone else might have.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So something that we are very excited about is that I was at a meeting in the fall, and different tech centers were talking about their enrollment, and so CVCC representatives were there at the meeting, and they said that they're turning away 200 students every year. And I thought, well, they are our neighbors down the road, and it would be really great if those students who are being turned away because their programs are filled could then have a pipeline to RTCC. And so that was brought up, and then Michael and myself, the director of CVCC, and Ruth Durkee from the AOE all met and talked about the potential for having a bus that would pick students up at CVCC and bring them to RTCC, which I think would help enrollment tremendously. So the plan is, as I know it now, is to move forward with that plan. And when students receive their letter saying that they, have not been accepted to a program at CVCC, due to it being filled, they will then receive a document that shows them how to apply to RTCC. And so that's new, and I'm very excited that that will help create a new pipeline of students to come to our school.
It's an exciting partnership.
It really is.
You know, kids who want to get into the tech center, getting into the tech center.
That's right. Yep. So I'm very, very excited about that. So that's our number one plan, recruitment tool to increase enrollment. We did update the program of studies this year, and there are a couple of program of studies here by Clayton. If anybody would like one, I think they came out really beautiful.
I think one we definitely.
Perfect, thank you so much. So we're getting those out there. We have an active RTCC Facebook page that we're updating weekly. So we are definitely having a Facebook presence. We just started, all the kids are on Instagram, and we just yesterday started an RTCCBT Instagram page, which we're hoping is going to really kick off because the students are going to start following that, and they're going to be sharing it with their friends, and their friends are going to follow RTCC, and we know that students will do what their friends are doing in a lot of cases. And so kind of getting them excited and seeing the things that we're doing, seeing the pictures and kids having fun and learning, doing hands-on learning and co-ops, I think is going to be a really good recruitment tool, and it's also something it doesn't cost anything, but it does bring a lot of joy. And so I think that's going to be really fun. We want to get some bumper stickers made. We did these really beautiful postcard mailers that just went out on Wednesday. They went out to every family with a high school age student in our service region. And they're really beautiful. They have multiple ways, the QR code and a link and different ways to apply, contact info, and it gets the word out about our Facebook page, and it came out really beautiful. We're also having these amazing recruitment posters made. We had a professional photographer come in and really capture some beautiful moments at the school. And what they're going to do is create a very large, like that size poster, which we're going to have framed and then mailed to or brought to our sending school counseling departments so that they can hang them and the students can have a visual of the programs that we have and ask questions. So that, not only do they see us when we come, they're getting our mailer, they're hearing about us online and from their friends, but we're also have a permanent presence in their counseling departments. I think that would be really important. Something really simple that we didn't have was business cards. So everybody created a logo for their program, and we're having beautiful business cards printed. We formed an advertising committee that just met for the first time yesterday, and one of the things that we're looking at is newspaper advertisements in our sending service region and radio advertisements for the spring to boost enrollment. And so those are the ideas and the things that we currently have going. There was also some talk about lawn signs. And I'm not sure if we're going to go the lawn sign route, but definitely open to any other ideas that anybody might have for increasing enrollment with advertising.
Do you think students are reading newspapers and listening to traditional radio?
Definitely not. No,
So
but
I
I
would-
think families are.
I would take that budget and I would, because families watch this too, you can sign up to place Hulu ads and Disney Plus ads free. And you just make an account. Any business can do it. There's more families streaming than they are reading even the local newspaper. You can get on TikTok. They have an ad management campaign for social media. A lot of kids are on TikTok and Snapchat.
Yes.
Again, that can all be controlled from a business. You have a great video department. They can make short 15-second video clips from each department. And the other thing I would suggest, Instagram's good. With Meta, you can do more than just boosted posts, but I would actually look into their business advertising website, which connects your account.
Just looking at that today.
Yeah, because you can put in the demographics like you did for the postcards, right? You can put in,
Okay.
I want to target families in these zip codes and that have kids, that have teenagers.
Do you know if
And-
there's a fee for that?
Nope. You just have to get an account signed up, and basically they just verify if you have a W-9 or any type of form to show that you're a business. And then you just have to produce the commercials, and they have other guidelines, but
That's so awesome.
I've had really good recruitment success with businesses looking for help on these platforms, anywhere from 18-year-olds to 50. So
Thank you.
I would suggest, nothing against our lovely local newspaper or radio, I grew up in that realm, but I think you gotta get in front of what the kids are, and everybody, including my own, is on Snapchat and YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's another great one. You
Yeah.
can set up a free Google account. You place ads and it says video and it puts it right on YouTube. So my suggestion would be, if you wanna get in front of the kids and even some parents, I'd go more of a visual.
15-second
you.
non-skippables.
Exactly. Just made one for the town of Berlin last night.
So my only thing is, have you asked current students what made them choose the tech center? Because
Yes,
having that little bit of a,
Mhm.
hey, I chose the tech center because,
Yeah.
or I was really afraid of going to the tech center, but I went and I made all kinds of new friends, and, you know, or I,
Yes, we
because
have asked that in our
oftentimes when I would
surveys.
speak with kids, especially from the outlying areas,
Mhm.
you're asking them to leave their
Your
little
friends.
Yeah.
cohort of friends.
Yeah.
And when career-wise, it makes a lot more sense for them to head to the tech center. It's very hard to make a rational argument on, well, for your career, this doesn't go anywhere. But if you can pull them in
If
on
we
an
can get all their
emotional-
I'm gonna give
an
you
emotional
You have
level.
stock video from 3
a,
years ago. It's on one of your servers, because I made them.
Oh.
When I used to work of kids giving testimonials and alumni giving testimonials of how it launched
Of
their
the
career.
benefit of
Clay
the tech center.
Westbrook and, yeah, a couple others that went here back in the 90s and early 2000s. So I don't know where they are. They was
Well, I
at
don't know. I'd have to ask.
my
Thank you.
previous employer, so I don't have access to them anymore.
Okay.
But we did
thank
a
you.
whole series, and then Lance did some as well. So you should have some interviews.
Yes,
that you
and
could actually
we got a
probably
couple
use.
of new ones too
Yeah.
that I've been posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
And use them for ads, because I think, like you said, that you gotta tell a story and you gotta resonate
Right.
to the kids and make it relatable.
Well, I will say I was disappointed to hear. So we went to one of our sending schools for a recruitment day, and we had a very large number of students sign up to say that they wanted to come and check out RTCC. So we created this list. We're really excited about this. I mean, there was a lot of kids. The number of kids that actually came was less than half of those kids. And when we asked what we followed up, like the kids that came, we said, you know, because we had the list, like the attendant, we were like, where is this person? Where's this person? Where's this person? We kept hearing they didn't come because their friends didn't come. They didn't come because their friends didn't have a permission slip, so then they didn't go. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it came down to their friends didn't go, so they didn't go. And that's a lot of people who we couldn't even get to walk through the door for a tour because their friends didn't go. I just want to say, just please come and make a decision for yourself and for your future, even if your friends decide not to, it's okay. But yeah, I think that's the number one kind of thing is kids leaving their friends. But the number one reason that that kids have responded last year on our survey, why did you choose to come to the tech center? It wasn't necessarily about their career, it was because traditional school wasn't working for them. And so they wanted to try something new. And that was like the number one reason for that, and the number one reason for not coming was my friends didn't go. So, I mean,
Yeah.
makes sense, but, yeah.
On
Anyways,
the social media, I'd also stick to stories and reels and not do posts. No one reads posts anymore. Just if you're gonna put the effort into it, you might as well take the camera and do a video.
that's a very good point, because I don't like to read posts either. Okay. Absolutely. Okay, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
That's definitely, yeah, it's a great point. Okay, any other ideas on that?
Renee, you're from a district that has 2 high schools quite a ways
yeah.
from here.
Thank you.
Any sense from you what would help draw students where these tech programs might be a good next step for them?
I mean, I think that a lot of kids are open to the idea. I think that there has maybe been some not great talk from some of the kids who have gone there and then not been successful. That may have influenced some other students as to why they might not want to apply. So I think that that's one thing. I think there's also been a little bit of, and this is just random pieces that I've picked up, that there might be some frustration as far as programming and having it staffed so that kids can be doing what they signed up for. The one I most specifically heard about recently was the health services.
Yep, that's what I thought you might have been talking about. Yes, we did lose a
so
teacher.
And so I think just some frustration as far as staffing goes, and then maybe some negative experiences that some of our kids have had that have, come back to the school. And of course, it's a kid's perspective of what happened.
Right.
But I think there has been some influence as far as that goes. But I would question, and I think it sounds like you have. I would question the students that either are applying and then choosing not to go, or who are going and visiting and then not going. Why is it that you're choosing not to? And that would probably give a lot more insight.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like you're already working on.
Yes, but we could have a more formal process for that, so thank you. And yes, to speak to the health careers piece, that absolutely was very disappointing to everybody involved. We did have a decent fallback, which was combining health careers with dental assisting, but we're hoping as we have Gifford here, Dessa Rogers is here as a member of the REB, that she was just voted in today, and so we're hoping to create a direct pipeline from RTCC to Gifford for the future, and there was some talk about possibly doing that even starting in April, where the students who signed up for the LNA program at RTCC could still complete that process this year, and so receive that licensure as they had expected to.
Another place that we might reach out to, just because you've got Williamstown and Northfield right there, is Mayo. I know they're always desperate for employees. As not that I want to take them away from Gifford, but if you're having trouble keeping instructors, because am I
Well, it was just the one
understanding
instructor
things
that-
correctly that you're maybe sort of gonna use these external sites as possible ways of getting some additional instruction, or is it
Okay,
more
so-
just having a clinical experience?
No, so the idea that was brought forth, but like Dessa and I haven't talked about it yet.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
No, it's okay. The idea that was brought forth earlier in the winter was that the students would be RTCC students, and then 3 days a week they would go to the classroom at provided by Gifford. They would receive the LNA training. Thank you for that. And then they would do their clinical hours at Gifford, and then they would continue at Gifford in whatever role they were hired for as a co-op.
Yeah.
So we
See, I
wouldn't
wonder
have a
if we could-
teacher.
If we could set something like that up at Mayo. I don't,
Well, we're hoping to partner with Gifford on it, so.
right, but could you do two? Or
Well,
would
there's
that be too difficult?
For right now, we're gonna
one
get one
partnership
off the
with
ground.
one
Operational,
Yeah,
and then,
we're really
Yeah.
thankful for the one partnership for sure.
right,
Um,
right.
But the lovely thing about that is that students in the LNA program, if that hope were to work out, on the days when they're not doing their LNA pieces, they could be taking CCD biology and nutrition and any other class, college class that they need. So with our teacher at RTCC.
Okay. And can I just get, so the childcare, we put it on pause with the idea of this coming year, the coming school year, kind of maybe seeing if we could drum up some kind of interest, maybe pipeline through, again, maybe starting, maybe again you do kind of a co-oping thing and then have the instructor doing the CCV, early childhood.
Potentially, right, for
Coursework as a-
26, 27.
Right.
Potentially, I hope.
Potentially.
I wanna definitely, we've put a lot of energy in last year, into trying to drum up interest in the education services program, and working with the state on it. And so we would continue to do that, but also want to increase numbers in the programs that we have.
That are already here. Yeah.
All of it, we wanna do all of it,
Yeah.
all of the things.
Yeah, I'm
For sure.
supportive of all of them, but, and I
Yes.
was just of those.
They're
'cause
all
I know
really
they
important.
were-
Well, another interesting fact is that when you look at CTE, whether it's in suburban, rural, or urban populations, CTE centers typically draw only like 10% of the students from specifically that early ed. There's very little interest. And when you look at all these other programs, when you look at ag and you look at mechanics, there's way more prolific growth and interest in that. So for whatever reason, people are not looking at education, even though there's great opportunities through VSAC, where they'll pay for the education and they'll pay for you to become a teacher in this state. And the McClure Foundation has focused and said that this is an area of growth in Vermont. But for whatever reason, when you talk to students, there's no interest.
Yeah,
I don't think they think there's money in it.
right.
And
There
now with the
there
state
hadn't
of
been for a
Vermont,
long time.
but now with the state of Vermont and the incentives, a teacher can get paid very well. And I think that message just needs to get relayed.
Right.
I agree.
And then I would like to speak to another thing, so thank you, Nathan, for bringing this to everybody's attention. Does everybody see here with the school enrollment numbers? I just wanted to clarify one thing. When I have the up-to-date numbers, so for 2024, when we're looking at students that are 9th, 10th, 11th grade, these are the students that would have an impact on our enrollment numbers. The true numbers for RUHS, 9th, 10th, 11th is 177. The Northfield numbers would be 103, 9th, 10th, 11th. Williamstown would be 131. And then the White River Valley this year is 188. So
the bottom chart's not for high school enrollment, that's population of kids going to those schools.
what I'm saying is,
He's saying they're top heavy.
No, that's just for
The lower.
every student in the district, from kindergarten through 12th grade, right?
and so I'm speaking directly to the kids that would have the impact on us directly, 9th, 10th, 11th.
So Michael said he felt the population was, in the last meeting, getting
Okay.
smaller. This
Okay.
is just to show the population of students and how many have been active in and out for the last 4 years, not which ones are eligible for your program.
Okay. All right.
Did that make sense?
No, that makes sense. I just
Because
want.
the question was, is population, because
Okay, I didn't understand. So,
and those kind of things.
right.
not so
I just
much.
wanted to clarify who our most high leverage students. Like these are the students that we would be able to potentially reach. And so I want to speak to that number.
Right, so this chart wasn't made for that number.
Okay, understood. Sure.
Yeah.
Occurred to me, so in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
when we had the 206 applicants, I don't know prior to that, but that year freshmen were accepted into RTCC and they're not now. It's supposed to be 10 through 12, so that number would include freshmen.
Right, I just put the applicants in there. I was more focusing on the starting and the end.
Yeah, no, totally. Just then freshmen do add to that number. And you know, what would really be great at some point is if we could have, like what New Hampshire's doing and have 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th all in the tech center at some point, and that's another thing that would really increase enrollment is to get students in there at an earlier age. So who knows, that could be coming down the pike. I also did forget to say one other thing, which is that we just started tabling at lunches at sending schools. And so we did our first tabling activity at Williamstown this past week. And we've got one coming up at RU. And then we're waiting to hear back about days when we can visit White River Valley and Northfield for tabling at lunch. And then we bring cool things to look at and swag and talk to kids and hopefully get them excited about coming for a tour and getting to sign up and do that.
Great.
So, yes, thank you. All right, so we're at 5:55. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add into our plan for increasing enrollment? Any other ideas that you all have?
I would just
We
really
appreciate all of your
hammer
ideas.
on the streaming and social media.
Yeah, I think you're right, and honestly, I had not thought about Snapchat
TikTok.
and TikTok. I had not thought about using those two types of social media outlets, but I think it's a great idea. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I would just follow where the kids are on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. All right,
Perfect.
if nothing else, please help yourself to some cookies.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.